Hey everybody, this is Lisa with Anderson Pens, and today I wanted to share with you 10 things that you can add to your Hobonichi planner before the beginning of the year. So I'm filming this in early November, and don't forget, number one, the most exciting thing is you actually get to start in December, so you don't even have to wait until January. So right here is the weeks, the Techo, and then I also have the weeks that we can reference, but 10 things to put in your planner before the beginning of the year. Number one, your usual birthday and anniversary events. That's a no-brainer. You should put in all the family birthdays, anything that you celebrate, all of your anniversaries, all of those normal things that you spend sometime in December, putting those all in your calendar because they are just recurring events every year. So that's a no-brainer. Number two, this is something that Brian and I have started to do recently, is household maintenance. We always seem to forget to have our furnace checked every year. And the last time we had the furnace company come out, they reminded us that there's actually a discount if you schedule your furnace checkup in the earlier months. And so now we have sometime in January, we call to schedule an appointment in March instead of June or July or May or June, when a lot of people call the furnace company to get that checkup before they turn on the air conditioning. So if we have it scheduled in March, we actually get a discount. So you want to schedule things like that. You also want to maybe keep track of when you switch your ceiling fans. I don't know if anybody else does that, but you turn it in one direction during the summer, you turn it in the other direction in the winter, and it changes the airflow. So you can put that in your planner now to switch it up, in May and October or November or whenever your different seasons are. The other thing you might want to consider is for us, one of our cars is only on the road in the summer, and so we have to keep track of when to take the car off insurance for the winter when we put it in the garage, and then we have to keep track of when to put the insurance back on for when we're going to take it out of the garage and actually drive it during the spring, summer, and fall. So you might want to keep track of that as well. And the monthly pages are really great for that because you can flip to it, see, okay, I need to call the insurance agency, get the car put back on the insurance, or schedule your furnace appointment, or whatever other household maintenance things you might have that you need to do. One final thing that you might want to consider in regards to household maintenance and what to schedule is up here in Wisconsin, very few people are prepared for the first snowfall. It's always earlier than when you think. So you want to make sure that you schedule in advance snowblower maintenance. Trust me, you want to do this. And lawnmower maintenance, because you don't want to wait until, let's say, late April, early May, and then you and everybody else in town is trying to get your lawnmower serviced. So you want to schedule that far enough in advance that whoever you take it to is not busy. And so you want to just plan that, schedule it, and if you know that it snows in May in Wisconsin, maybe you schedule your lawnmower for late April so that it's good to go. Next, you want to schedule all of your annual appointments. And so this might include your annual doctor checkup, mammogram, your dental, eye doctor appointments. Don't forget a full-body skin exam if you live someplace very sunny or you have very fair skin, or if skin cancer runs in your family, you want to get your moles and your skin checked out. So schedule that. And the other thing is, don't neglect your pets. Schedule your vet appointments for your pet, an annual exam, or make sure that you keep track of your pet vaccinations, and make sure that you schedule that. And so the monthly view is a great place to keep track of all of that, and then you just flip through. Same thing in the weeks. And this way you just keep this in your purse or your messenger bag, and you always know what you're doing. Number 4, the fourth thing to add to your Hobonichi planner before January. And this actually was something that my mom reminded me of this morning when we were talking. And it's going to sound silly, but hear me out. Trash days. You want to keep track of when your trash pickup is. And for those of you who have overflow or bulk trash, whatever they call it in your area, I know that here in Appleton, they do this. I think it's once a month or once a quarter. I don't remember. I have to look at my calendar. But they have trash days, and if there's a holiday, sometimes your trash day is changed. And I know that certain places, especially if you're in a gated community or you have a homeowners association, if you put your trash out on Monday, because normally they pick it up Monday afternoon or Monday night, and then there's a holiday, sometimes you're not allowed to keep a trash bin out for too long. So you want to keep track of when your normal trash days are, when your holiday trash days are, and when your bulk overflow days are, because if you are trying to declutter your house and you want to take advantage of that overflow day, you want to know when that is so you don't miss it. Number 5, you want to perhaps keep track of taxes, and that is something that you can put in your Hobonichi now. Your monthly or quarterly tax submissions, if you have HSA contributions, or if you've got, like this time of year, you might have some flex spending account deadlines as to when you have to use the balance of your flex spending account. So you want to put that in here to, get your final eye exam, get a new pair of glasses, use up your flex spending account. If you've got certain deadlines from your accountant for taxes, you need to get documents to them by a certain date. You want to put that in there far enough in advance that you know that if tax day is April 15th or whatever, and then, your accountant can't do that in one day. So then you want to make sure that you backdate, okay, I need to get the documents together. You should get your tax forms from your employer by the end of January, and so you need to make sure you have everything together by mid-February or whatever your date is to get it to whoever does your taxes so that there is no stress, no drama, and everything just goes according to plan. And of course, with taxes, the sooner you get everything submitted, often the sooner you get your refund, which is a beautiful thing. Number 6, student loan due dates. Since student loans were paused for many people for almost 3 years, the restart of student loans may be confusing to a lot of people. It may be a different date than it used to be in the month. It may be a different amount. So you want to keep track of what is due for that, and you can certainly put that in there now and keep track of that. You also can keep track of, if you are a student, when your tuition payments are due, when your federal student aid applications are due, or when you are expecting your disbursement if you are in school and getting financial aid. So you want to keep track of anything that's related to student loans or financial aid. This is a great place to keep track of everything. Number 7, school events for younger children, like grade school, preschool, and even into middle school, children who are perhaps not keeping track of their own schedules yet. You want to put into your planner now all the major events that are going to occur next year as much as you can. So you want to put in all the things that the kids throw at you the night before it's supposed to happen. So school field trips. And if a field trip is scheduled for a certain day, you know that they are going to need that permission slip a week to 2 weeks before the event. Make sure that you get it, make sure you sign it, and make sure that the child returns it back to the teacher. Parent-teacher conferences, you don't want to miss those. And any other musical events, band or choral concerts, recitals, anything like that you want to keep track of, because generally organizations and schools will give you all of that information far in advance. And so anything that you have for 2024, you want to put in your planner now so that you are not scrambling the night before something is due, or you need to go somewhere or fix a costume or whatever it is that will come up last minute. For older students, whether that is high school or whether it's you as a student, you also want to keep track of things like tuition dates. Again, with financial aid submissions or disbursements, you definitely want to keep track of when the semester starts and ends and any holidays in between. As a former professor, I really want you to keep track of your paper and project deadlines. Trust me, professors really appreciate it when you actually turn them in on time and they are complete. So you want to keep track of anything important that is due. And because schools and colleges will give you generally an entire semester's worth of dates, due dates, deadlines in advance, you want to put all of that in your planner now so that there are no surprises. Another thing that you can put into your Hobonichi planner now before the beginning of the year is all of your goals for 2024. If you have goals to set aside money or to pay down debt or whatever, you can log your goals. All the planners have empty spaces in the back that you can write down your goals, your dreams, your hopes, and then take that and break them down into quarter or monthly planning. And so if you want to save $1,200 a month, for a year, $100 a month, then maybe you put that you are going to save $25 a week into your savings account, and you can start to schedule that out now, and then you can keep track of it. You might have a month where you plan to not spend any money at all. I know many of us try that, some more successfully than others perhaps, but it's worth a try. And so you also can keep track of that on the daily pages, whether it's the weeks or the techo or the cousin. You can keep track of how well you did, what you did or didn't spend. And so that is something that you can also track and log before January. For many of you, number 9 is sporting activities. If you are personally involved in some kind of a sport, or if you have children who are on a sporting team or a personal activity, you definitely want to keep track of all the different deadlines and dates. The beginning of the season, practices, away games or away events, any kind of special testing or special races. My children were involved in Taekwondo for several years, and so the testing date for a new belt was always a separate event, and so you can keep track of everything. You often know in advance about many of those things, and so put those in your calendar now so that you know you can plan around it. The other thing is, if your children are involved in any kind of sport, you often could be the person doing the carpooling, and you may have every third Friday as your day to drive everyone. You want to know when you are supposed to drive, and you want to know when you don't have to. So keep all of that in your planner in advance, and that way you know exactly what you're doing, where you're going, and when you have free time. Last but not least, number 10, put in your planner now, before January, date nights. Date nights or weekends or vacations. It can be a date night with a spouse or significant other. It can be a poker night with the guys. It can be a wine bar night with your girlfriends. It can be whatever it is. It can be a routine date with children. I know Brian has kind of a weekly lunch date with our daughter, Lindsay, and they're both having a lot of fun with that. But put that in the calendar, especially if it's either with young children or with older children, if you put it in the calendar now and you know that every third Saturday you have a standing date with your 10-year-old or your 25-year-old, maybe keep track of where you go and where you've been. And so you can see that going out for ice cream worked really well, going out to dinner didn't work so well, or vice versa. And so you can keep track of that and just keep a record of it. The other thing you can do is just have a date with yourself. And once a month, once a week, whatever it might be, schedule some time just for you. And put that in your calendar, schedule it now, set aside some time to just be alone and have some fun on your own and enjoy the peace and quiet, or go someplace noisy and enjoy just being anonymous, or whatever it is that works for you. But schedule that now, and that way you schedule the rest of your time around some of these special days. But make time for people who are important to you, and the best way to do that is to put it in your calendar. So there you go. 10 things to add to your Hobonichi planner that you can do now before the beginning of the year. I hope you found this to be helpful. And don't forget to add in our podcast every Thursday morning as something that you want to put in your planner.